Manufacturing in space could produce materials impossible to make on Earth. For the entire history of human industry, we have paid a gravity tax. Every medicine we've synthesized, every semiconductor we've etched, and every fiber optic cable we've pulled has been distorted by the constant 9.8 meters per second squared pull of our planet. On Earth, gravity causes convection. It causes sedimentation, and it forces molten materials to deform under their own weight. We've become so used to these gravity defects that we don't even realize they're there until now. As of March 2026, the gravity tax is being revealed. We are currently in the middle of a high-stakes, multi-billion-dollar race to build the first autonomous space factories. We aren't just talking about research lab or science fair experiments on the ISS. Instead, we are talking about dedicated, uncrewed industrial satellites designed to do just one thing: manufacture high-value goods in the pure, weightless vacuum of low Earth orbit, and fire them back down to Earth in heat-shielded capsules. This year, made in space isn't just fiction, it's the new gold standard for the most advanced materials in existence. First, we'll discuss about the pharmaceutical goldmine, Varda Space. If you want to understand the economics of modern space manufacturing, you have to look at Varda Space Industries. While others were dreaming of mining asteroids, Varda realized that the most valuable thing you can do in space is grow a better crystal. In February 2024, Varda's W1 mission made history by becoming the first commercial company to recover an intact spacecraft that had manufactured pharmaceuticals in the orbit. They grew crystals of ritonavir, an antiviral drug, and found that in microgravity, the crystals were larger, purer, and more uniform than anything possible on the ground. By early 2026, Varda has completed its second and third successful re-entry missions. They have moved past proof of concept, and now they are into the scale-up mode. In the weightless environment of their Winnebago capsules, drugs for cancers, diabetes, and chronic pain are being formulated with hyper purity. Because these drugs are so expensive, sometimes costing millions of dollars per kilogram, the high cost of a rocket launch is actually a rounding error. Varda has proven that in 2026, the shortest path to pharmaceutical breakthrough isn't through a bigger lab on Earth. It's through a 500-mile vertical trip. While Varda is focusing on chemistry, the UK-based Space Forge is focusing on physics. In January of 26, Space Forge achieved a monumental world first. They successfully generated plasma aboard their 4-star 1 satellite. Now, why does plasma in space matter? Because it is the fire needed to grow the next generation of semiconductors. On Earth, gravity-induced convection currents cause tiny imperfections in semiconductor crystals, which creates noise and heat in our electronics. In the microgravity of a 4-star satellite, these crystals can be grown with almost zero defects, potentially making them 4,000 times purer than terrestrial versions. Now, these aren't the chips in your laptop, these are high-performance silicon carbide and gallium nitride, and they're primarily used in 5G towers, electric vehicle, inverters, and high-speed defense systems. Space Forge's vision for 2026 is the returnable factory, a satellite that launches, manufactures a batch of ultra-pure wafers, and then to glide back on Earth for a soft landing. No splashdown, no damage, just a delivery of orbital silicon. Now, let's talk about the fiber optic revolution. One of the most exciting and impossible materials of 2026 is ZBLAN. It's a fluoride-based glass that in theory can transmit data 10 to 100 times more efficiently than the silica-based fiber optic cables that we use today. But the problem with that is, if you try to make it on Earth, gravity causes tiny crystals to form during the cooling process. Think of it like sand inside a glass, which will cause impurity and also scatter the signals. Companies like Redwire Space and Mercury Systems have been using the ISS as a testbed for years, but in 2026, the transition to commercial free flyers has begun. Using automated lab-in-a-box systems like Redwire's Pillbox, they are pulling kilometers of ZBLAN fiber in orbit. In 2026, where the data centers is the new oil field, The ability to transmit that data with near zero signal loss is a $1 trillion advantage. One thimble-sized preform of ZBLAN made in space can be pulled into kilometers of fiber, making the space-to-ground delivery highly profitable. We are building the nervous system of the 2030s, and it's being spun in the stars. Let's discuss about the infrastructure of 2026, VAST and Redwire. The race isn't just about small capsules. It's about industrial space stations. With the ISS scheduled for retirement in 2030, 2026 has become the inflection point for private stations. Vast Space recently announced a massive $500 million funding boost for its Haven 1 station, which is scheduled to launch in 2027. Unlike the ISS, which is a science lab, Haven 1 is being built as a factory-first destination. It features vertically integrated manufacturing facilities where companies can rent rack space to run their own industrial processes. Meanwhile, Redwire has become the general contractor of the low Earth orbit economy. Their pharmaceutical in-space laboratory, or pillbox, has already flown 43 units supporting drug investigations for giants like Bristol Myers Squibb and Eli Lilly. In 2026, the partnership between platform, the station, and payload, the factory equipment, has matured. We've stopped asking if we can make things in space and started asking how many units per month can we do. But of course, there are challenges that we face, and these are heat and heat shields. Manufacturing in space isn't all smooth sailing. In 2026, two major bottlenecks still remain, and that is thermal management and re-entry. First, let's talk about the heat. In the vacuum of space, there is no air to carry away the heat from the 1000 Celsius semiconductor furnace. Everything must be cooled by radiation, which requires massive fragile radiators. Second is getting the product back to Earth, and that may be the hardest part. Re-entering the atmosphere at Mach 25 turns the surrounding air into a 3000-degree plasma. If your heat shield fails, your $1 million batch of cancer drugs or anything that you're producing becomes a very expensive shooting star. This is why 2026 is the year of ablative innovation. Varda is flight testing NASA's CPICA material, a lightweight, cost-effective thermal protection system. Space Forge is using the Pridwin fabric shield. Honestly, this feels like the race to build the factory is actually a race to build a better delivery truck. Finally, let's talk about the low Earth orbit industrial park. For 60 years, we went to space to explore. In 2026, we are going to space to produce. We are witnessing the birth of the LEO Industrial Park, a belt of autonomous high-tech refineries orbiting our planet. We are no longer limited by the resources or physics of Earth. By moving our most difficult and most valuable manufacturing off planet, we are freeing the Earth from the pollution of heavy industry and freeing our technology from the limits of gravity. In 20th century, the sign of superpower was its steel mills. In 2026, the sign of superpower is its orbital output. The stars are no longer just for wishing. They are for making too. And that's it for today's video. If you loved the content, make sure to press the subscribe button and also press that bell icon so you get notified of our upcoming content. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.